sometimes when you get so deep in the healing process, you don't realize that the constant internal voice in your head, that it looks like self-reflection, it looks like introspection, it looks like healing, it's actually just a higher form of self-consciousness, a higher form of knowing. I have stuff written down for the first time ever, so my thoughts might be actually, but also they won't be authentic. But I wrote this, so it's just like a deeper form of knowing. And there's so much that you know, so there's like more for your brain to turn to when you're in these situations in your life and you're like, okay, what does this mean? Is this bringing up my trauma? Is this bringing up my past self, my inner child? Like, my hair looks really good. I just did hot rollers. And you just think and you think and you think. And it's not self-awareness. It's just self-consciousness. You're just being conscious of it, because self-awareness is just like looking at it, being aware of it. And sometimes that's all you need to do. You just need to look at it and be like, it's okay. If it heal, it heal. If it don't, yeah. Like, it's good to do the shadow work and to do all that stuff, but sometimes you get fucking crazy and it's like all too much. And it's bad sometimes because you're not trying to observe yourself, you're trying to fix yourself over and over and over. And sometimes it's good while you're trying to fix your conscious patterns, but no. And they can just like flood our mind, and they're not. And sometimes there's not actually anything wrong, you're just making yourself go crazy. This could kind of connect to like neurosis. I hope I'm getting the definition right, but it's just like when you have this feeling and you don't know where it came from because no one ever taught you that it was a bad feeling, or that what this person did or this thing did to make you feel that way was a bad thing. So you're just like, why am I feeling this? What's wrong with me? What's wrong with me? But it's like if your body's having a reaction, obviously something was wrong, so you have to trust that. So it's just like, this is why I need to write down my thoughts. It's just in like not letting your thoughts go wild, I think. Like, sometimes you don't need to constantly fix yourself. You don't need to be constantly looking for what's wrong with you, because it's a terrible thing to do. Just look for what's wrong with you. No. Sometimes you just need to be. And I'm going to introduce a topic that I read about today in an article. Me and my articles. Me and my Substacks. And it can be said in different ways. It's just like the way this is said, I like it. Right. But like after all that, the healing work, the shadow work, whatever, I think the true, because we do all that healing work, we do all of that so we can live a beautiful, that scared the shit out of me. We do all of that so we can live a beautiful life. And if we're just constantly doing that, you're not living a beautiful life, babe. You're just going insane. Okay, so basically there's symbols of the underworld, or like another like way of things, but also it can be used as like a symbol of like being. It's called Amenta and Amenti. Amenta is the symbol of the underworld. It represents the passage into the afterlife, a journey that requires overcoming challenges and trials to reach immortality. So you can think of that as like you doing the shadow work, you doing healing, you doing the introspection, all of that. I want to do like a little history of it. They have roots in ancient Egyptian spiritual teachings, where Amenta was seen as the realm of death or the underworld, a necessary passage to self-realization, and Amenti was viewed as a place of divine truth and eternal wisdom, a state of ultimate understanding beyond duality. I'm not exactly clear on what duality is. And duality is like when you see good and bad as two separate things, when you see wealthy and poor as two separate things. I don't quite know how to explain that yet, but it's just like Amenti is like transcending that, just realizing it all just is. So yeah. Anyways, where am I? So yeah, a little bit more. I'm gonna do a little bit more about Amenti. So Amenti is the realm of pure creation and consciousness. It's just like a state of divine knowing, of just like, it's like a realization of I am here and that is all. And it's not a battle between your thoughts. It's just having the clarity and having the peace. If you don't want to use these, you can do it as, say it as Amenta is like the loop, being your false self, the healing trap, overprocessing, the inner noise, trauma theater, the mind spiral, what the hell. So if that's what it feels like for you, you need to go. And then for a mentee, the true voice, soul space, knowing, clarity beyond thought. You know, you feel like the difference in the words, right? So the frequency of the Amenta is like the shadow work and the healing trap, and the mental state would be like the looping thoughts, the self-doubt, the fears. It's just when you think all the time. And you go through your life and you're like, okay, what does this mean about me? Is this my inner child talking to me? What's going on? I'm trapped. Get out! So yeah. And you just feel you feel heavy. And like there's always something going on and you never get to rest. Even if you're resting, you feel like you never get to rest. And honestly, it's easy to leave that. Because I just did it today. I was going fucking wild and I was like, wait a minute. And I took out my brain. Yeah, I had a lobotomy. Oh shit. I forgot to mention I can pop my shoulder out, so I don't know if that's like, sometimes it just happens. I'm like, uh-oh, help me. And then I can go really far back. Yeah, special skills, anyways. So yeah, you'll know when you're in a menta. It's just like, your thoughts are loud and draining, and it's disgusting. Like, it's good sometimes. I'm not saying like you shouldn't be in that and you shouldn't try and heal. And it's just like in the symbol, Egyptian symbol, when they go to that place, it's also like a place, it's like the underworld. It means you're gonna get rebirthed and you're gonna live again, and you might have to keep healing, keep living your destiny, keep going at your destiny, keep trying to achieve that. And it's not necessarily a bad thing. It's just like sometimes we get so caught up in the constant loop of thoughts, and I just would rather leave that. So a mentee is like the opposite of it. Anyways, for a mentee, quiet mind, deep clarity, flashes of intuitive insight. I don't know, like, I'm just reading off of my notes app, like, wow. You feel expansive, still, like clear, like crystal clear. Like you just really, and you just feel aligned. Like, because I think with a menta, a lot of the times it's like, you just feel out of place, and like you're not there yet. But a mentee is realizing you were always there, and there was never a battle. There was never anything to fight. There was never anything to heal. You were already whole, always. It's just like, it's good if you want to change your subconscious patterns, whatever. Do that. It's great. But you need to realize there's nothing actually wrong with you sometimes. For some people, there sure are. Please stop being a narcissist. Yeah. So, if you want to shift to that, you can't resist it. You can't, because, you know, we all know what you resist persists. Sorry, I just had to get closer to look at myself. I look really good. So you don't look at your thoughts and tell you have to stop, you have to go away, I hate you, you're disgusting. You just have to stop engaging with them, stop identifying with them. Those thoughts, they were honestly never yours. It's just a thing, a learned thing. Do you like my fringe? I accidentally cut a little fringe. I'm like, okay, I guess I'm a fringe girl now. But it's just a thing that just keeps coming up. Sorry, those words were not meant to leave my mouth. I'm going to the genius. Mark my words. A mentee saved me. But anyways, where was I? Yeah, stop identifying with the thoughts. Stop identifying with duality, like light versus dark, all that stuff. It's just, you have to get into the creation, the state of just being, and that's when you create. Because when you're just trying to heal, you're trying to fix things, when you're, just thinking so much, your brain has no space to create anything new. You're just kind of stuck in the loop. And it's not about escaping, because you were never bound. You just have to make the conscious decision to realize, to be like, I don't want to overthink so hard anymore. Low-key, what I do, I just tell my mind to shut the fuck up. I'm like, too much, we can save that for another day, shut up. I just had 3 seconds of silence, and I feel great. But yeah, it's just realizing you're already whole, because you are. You're already love. All the things you're seeking, also that's the thing with Amenta, all the things you're seeking, they're already inside you. You don't need to seek, because you already have it all. You don't need to find love, because you are already loved. I'm not saying you can't want a boyfriend. I sure do want a boyfriend, but it's okay, because I am the embodiment of love. Yay! And it's just in leaving the pattern so you can finally become who you truly are. Because, I don't know, do you want to be talking all the time in your head and not leaving space to grow? That's what I've been doing for literally like a month. Me talking about a topic I'm entirely new to, but I just had to share it. I had to make it make sense for me. This is how I make it make sense for me. I really don't care who watches. Yeah. Sorry, I'm so pretty. This is where true liberation begins. I love this. I love this, I love those words. They're pretty. And because I read it in a Substack article, and it was just like, turn your mind off. What I was looking for, I was trying to research Cicely Berry. She's an acting theorist. She worked at the Shakespeare Company, whatever. She wrote the voice and the actor, and then the actor and the text. She wrote those. So I was searching up things about her, and sometimes I find good articles on Substack about people, so I was like, maybe Cicely Berry will be there. So I looked up her book. The actor and the voice. I forget. But then I saw that voice in your head. And I was like, wait a minute, what did this mean? I want to find it. And I read it, and I was like, wait a minute. Am I actually delusional? And I'm not helping myself at all? Yes, the answer is yes, because I wasn't helping myself. These constant thoughts of, why don't I have what I want already? And why do I feel unhealed? Why do I feel unworthy? Why do I feel unfulfilled? I'm pretty sure it was just an illusion, because there are so many times where I can feel like that. And getting back into that pattern is just when I'm thinking too much. Because I'm thinking too much about what I don't have. Sometimes you just need to be here, and you need to be in your body. That's the thing. Sometimes you get so much in your mind. You're just living in your mind. You're not living in the world. You're just living in your mind. And it's also a thing for manifesting. Forgetting about your mind. And this guy just did a video on it. Maybe this will help you find him. All his thumbnails are this. Manifesting words. Not in a bad way. I just thought it was funny. Oh my god. It's just forgetting about your mind sometimes and being in your body, because that's what it's about. It's about being in your body. It's not about anything else. And I think, am I about to do a foot reel? No, because I have a really big scar on my foot, because like a month-ish ago, I got a really big cut on my foot, and I was just like overthinking the whole time I got it. I was like, oh my gosh, how am I supposed to dance? I cut my finger on my mom's ring. I hope I can still dance. And that was all I was thinking about. I was stressing out so fucking much. And then I was like, you know what? My foot is literally dying. Let me give her some love. And I was actually in my body and feeling my body. I was like, wow, that's all I needed to get out of my own way. You need to get out of your own way. You're standing in the way. Because the thing with manifestation, we're going to talk about this. The thing with manifestation, you set the intention, you set the manifestation, you manifest it because you come into the vibration of having it. That's what manifesting is. Manifesting isn't, I want this pen, now I have it, I manifested it. Manifesting is how would I feel if I had this pen? I feel great, I've just manifested it. Oh wait, it just walked into my life. That's great, I guess, but manifesting was before. Yeah. So you get to that state and then your mind is like, wait a minute, I don't see it. And it's like, now you've de-manifested that shit. You were taking the steps to get there and suddenly, oh, this pen is never coming in your life again because your mind is in the way. You need to escape it. You need to escape it. I'm getting very passionate about this. Anyways. Get out of the mind loop. Because you deserve to be here. Do you hear the crickets? They want you to be in your body. They want you to listen. They want you to feel. They want you to touch. They want you to taste. They want you to smell. They want you to hear. And they want you to be. Because you're already whole. You're already worthy. You're already everything you dream of. And your mind tries to tell you you're not. But those thoughts are not yours. Okay? Peace and love. Yay!